Hello and welcome. Today I want to make a mold of these coasters that I got. They're really pretty. And I would like the opportunity to be able to utilize them again. So I just have a container here. And I'm going to use some freezer paper as a liner. I'm going to place that in with the shiny side up. Okay, so all I've done is I've taken a second sheet of the freezer paper and I've made it into a box, and I am going to reinforce the seams with some additional packing tape. And I did put this piece here just in case I have any leakage. And full transparency, I've never tried using freezer paper to do a mold before, but I saw it done somewhere a while back and seemed to work for them, so I am going to give it a try. And since I don't have a mold casing this size, I'm just improvising and using this freezer paper in the hopes that it will actually work. So, fingers crossed. But I'm going to pull these out now, and I'm just going to reinforce this pseudo container that I've created. Okay, I've now finished making my container, and I'm going to just use these double-sided stickers to put them on the back of each of these coasters to make sure that that stays in place and adheres to the freezer paper, so that way as I pour in the silicone they won't raise up. I've now mixed up about 16 ounces of the silicone, and I'm going to pour that from about 2 feet above the actual piece. That will allow it to have less bubbles than it would if I were just to dump it directly on. So I will finish filling the housing that I made for this mold, and then I will allow that to cure per the manufacturer's instructions, and I will be back. Okay, we're back. This is now set, and so I'm going to show you how easy this is to demold. Just grab your scissors, make a cut, and then you can just rip the paper off. Alright, now you're just going to want a really good X-Acto knife, and you're going to want to trace the outside of that coaster and make sure you're pushing it against the coaster. Don't push too far down, you just want to push enough so that you can get that top layer there off. And then you can pull off this extra silicone. Alright, and then you can just pop out your coaster. Clean up the edges if necessary. And there you have. And I actually left this matte on purpose because I want this coaster to be matte, but you can always spray the outside of these coasters with a gloss acrylic and then mold them, and that will make your mold glossy as well. The silicone's going to pick up whatever finish is on what you're molding. So I made this one matte, and if I do them and I don't like them, I can always make another one by adding that gloss sheen to the front. And I will finish taking the coasters out, and then I'll use the mold and see how it turns out. Okay, now that the mold's complete, I'm going to do some copper metallic powder and some antique silver on these. So I think I will do the top two with the copper and the bottom two with the silver. So let me flip that. I'm not going to worry right now if I get it on outside of the print. I'll go back over that with a Q-tip or a cotton swab with isopropyl alcohol, and I'll clean up my mess. Okay, and I'll clean up my mess on this side. Alright, now we'll work on the other side. Because this side of the mold is so detailed, it was impossible for me to brush it and then be able to clean it up. So I wound up just mixing a little isopropyl alcohol with the antique silver mica I had shown you before. And I put it into this little needle bottle. And I'm using that to just go ahead and paint in the flower and vase area of this part of the mold. If I ever do this again, I definitely would not try to paint these molds. It is extremely difficult. It would be better to just do a base pour and then do something on top of the cured resin as opposed to trying to do what I just did. Just a heads up in case you ever try to replicate something like this. This kind of intricacy is extremely difficult to pre-paint. Alright, so I've mixed up 8 ounces of resin, and I'm going to add this pearlescent powder to it. And I'm going to dilute that with some isopropyl alcohol. Alright, I'm going to add that to my resin and mix it. Alright, now I'm just going to backfill and fill the mold. Alright, now I'm going to let that sit and cure, and I'll be back. Okay, we're back. These have now cured, so I'm going to go ahead and demold. Okay, let's see what we have. Oh, that turned out really pretty. I like it. And here's the other one that matches. So pretty. And then the ones we did in copper, those turned out pretty too. I like it. And the matching one, I love these. They're very simple but clean. I think they turned out really nice. Very nice. And I like the fact that I've made a mold, so now I can always make these again, and I now have countless possibilities of things I could make, or different designs with this. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and press the bell to be alerted to future videos.